Ladies and gentlemen, I think many ex-Malaysian who has converted to become Singaporeans are regretting right now. And this insight is taken from an article I saw from the news media. I want to share with everybody. And what's the implication for both Malaysians? They are right now in Malaysia, Malaysians that's converted to Singaporeans, and we Singaporeans as well. Let's watch on, shall we? So there's an ex-Malaysian that's regretted that he has become Singaporean. He basically say this, in Singapore, you have to work until you die. This Malaysian that is converted to a Singaporean, he is now driving a Grab, and he has expressed his opinion to fellow passenger, and he basically says that back in Malaysia he has sought certain privileges. He has given that up for better life in Singapore. Now he's regretting, and I don't know what's the situation right now with the other 93% of 61,000 Malaysians that have renounced their citizenship to become Singaporean. And I think we should really analyze this. So most of the Malaysians who come to Singapore is because I think the first and foremost is that they have a higher salary here. I think they also look forward to a more stable government. And to be fair, the track record of Malaysia over the last 20, 30 years in terms of government stability ain't that good. And we do have world-class infrastructure here, good education, good security, and career progression is great. Job and income security is wonderful. They all love this. That's why many of them come in droves. But they do trade off some things. In Malaysia, the cost of living is really very low relative to that of Singapore. And there you can have huge land, right? Landed property, at least then were quite affordable. Now it's less, but depending where you stay, and you could escape from the cost of Singapore. So they came and make a trade-off. So unfortunately, right, as they do the trade-off, they realize that wow, Singapore really, houses are small, cost of living is really very high, and they really have to work their ass out, right? So do all of us, and we just got used to it. In Malaysia, you can have big house, you can have a garden, you can even grow your own food and things like that. And there's an option for you to retire even in a kampong if you want. There are still kampong there, and you have a easier cost of living. So these are situations where once you reverse and just come over to Singapore and change your citizenship, and by the way, it's very difficult to get Singapore citizenship now. It's a one-way ticket. Malaysia, I don't think they accept, returnees, so as to say. I don't think so. And once you become Singaporean, your sons have to serve to serve the army and fulfill your national service obligation. And we really want that as well to show your commitment. So in this particular case, that Grab driver was lucky because his wife, very smart, still retained his Malaysian citizenship as a backdoor in case he want to go back, right? But unfortunately, his sons, I think the two of them, have to serve national service, and to me, that's good. Okay, we are running our soldiers, but for him, wow, what a big sacrifice he had made. To be frank, I think many ex-Malaysian have this concept that they will earn here in Singapore, get the best of Singapore, and then eventually retire there in Malaysia. Because you can also retire in Malaysia as a Singaporean if you want. You have certain paperwork and administration that you want to do. I more or less, stay, I know, a quarter of my life or one third of my life in Malaysia right now. So I can say that I'm enjoying that phase of life right now. But Singapore really is a place that you make money. Malaysia, a place that you spend money. And by the way, this doesn't just apply to the Malaysian, it also apply to the Chinese as well. Many of them have this concept, 在这里赚钱，在那里花钱. So basically, they also want to make money from Singapore, go back to China as well. And I think that's a very fair concept that everybody's thinking of. Wow, what has changed? The ringgit has super skyrocketed. You take a look at the ringgit, it was at a high of 350 plus. And I was just lucky that I bought my Malaysian house then. Just lucky, not that I was so chun to ever see it. And then it went boom, 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 and skyrocketed to 312 right now, 10 over percent. So what has changed? The ringgit has skyrocketed. For Singapore dollar to ringgit, at one point in time, it was at a high of $3, sorry, 3 ringgit 50, and it has since then okay, the Sing dollar is depreciated all the way to 312 right now, okay, and possibly still going on. The US dollar was at a high of 450 or so ringgit, and now it's at 399 for 4 ringgit and so. So the ringgit has gone sky high. So in short, the ringgit has appreciated 10 over percent versus the Singapore dollar. So the cycle has changed for Malaysia. Why is the ringgit appreciating? It's because of many factors. Okay, but let's take a look at the history of the ringgit. Well, it used to be weak. There were budget deficit, politically not so stable, and the trade weren't doing so well, and so on. I think all changed when Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim came on board. I think he made a very tough call to cut a lot of subsidy, and he go out actively, go and promote Malaysia, and created the Singapore. So the things have changed significantly. In the past, the ringgit was weak largely because there were poor economic fundamentals. There were budget deficit in Malaysia for many years at a severe rate, and the ringgit was just depreciating severely, and politics weren't that stable. Well, ever since Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim came on board, wow, the situation turned around, and the the ringgit has now appreciated. The trade and budget deficit has improved tremendously. And so the situation really has turned in favor of Malaysia. It used to be a huge budget deficit, okay, economically unsound, and there were political instability. Ever since Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim came on board, wow, he makes certain tough decisions, right? He cut the subsidies for petrol, and he took away a lot of other goodies that's been bleeding the government. And he went out all out as a national salesman, right? Selling Malaysia, cutting deals. For example, the SEZ Special Economic Zone with Singapore, okay, is now forming. Data centers are sprouting out in big numbers in Malaysia, okay, and sales are coming in, investments are coming in, and I think ringgit is turning around, okay, in a big way. So purchasing power right now clearly has a better outlook now. So you may not realize this, but if you go into JB at night on Sunday night, you will see a lot of Malaysian cars going back. Okay, they are coming here to do shopping in big numbers. Okay, so much that in Malaysia, Sunday night, you will see custom officer checking for what have you purchased in Singapore. You're supposed to pay, okay? You're supposed to pay for their equivalent of GST, which is called SST. So they are coming here to shop in big numbers, like huge numbers. So clearly, right, this is very beneficial for Singapore, but you also show that the Malaysians are getting richer and richer. They are doing well. So it benefits both countries. So really, political stability is the anchor of this transformation. The unity government led by Prime Minister Anwar, I think, is doing fantastically. I have zero political affiliation in Malaysia. Nobody knows me in Malaysia, okay, from a political point of view, and I've got no connection with the political party. I'm saying this as an independent watcher, and I really want to tell fellow Malaysians to treasure this political stability. So for fellow Singaporeans, we are benefiting clearly a lot from Malaysians' rise, okay? And they're coming to spend money in Singapore. I think that's great, okay? And we benefit from the tourism and things like that. For the Malaysians who are regretting that you have become Singaporeans and you look and say that, wow, what have I given up and things like that, I'll just say this, the grass is greener where you water it. Make the best of where you are. Now they've become Singaporeans, okay? Don't look back. And more importantly, I don't think Singapore is that bad. I think you need to make the best of it by discovering all the opportunities that are available here, and you can do well as well. For the Malaysians who are now in Malaysia, okay, there's no need to envy Singapore. You have your pluses, we have our pluses, you have our minuses, so do we. So one of the big plus that you got so much land, okay, you have got a huge market, okay, and you've got lower cost, And not to forget, your EPF is returning a powerful return. Look, got 5, 6 over percent. We would love to have the kind of returns. And what a huge, massive opportunity awaits you as long as you maintain this climate of political stability and economic attraction. So this is where I just want to say to Malaysians, really your prime minister has done your insanely good environment. So there's now political stability. Don't upset it. The currency strength is something you all need to drew over. Okay, the economic confidence that the investors are having right now in Malaysia is wonderful, and I will just say this. I know a lot of Malaysians are grumbling that cost of living is very high. I'll just say this: that's happening throughout the world. Okay, you can have high cost of living and bad economics, okay, and a bad economy, or you can have high cost of living and good economy. Which one will you choose, right? So I think the choice is very clear. So last and most importantly, I'm going to repeat myself for every one of us. Okay, I always say this: stop envying and stop regretting or whatever. The grass is greener where you water it. Okay, right? Take advantage of where you are right now. Chase for all the opportunity. Don't leave a single scrap on the table. Okay. I say this in my success series live stream that I talk about in my night live stream. You know, uh, really take advantage of all the opportunity that the times give you. And for Malaysians, the time they have right now is amazing. For Singapore, okay, the opportunities that we have here are also amazing. Okay, thank you. I'll see you in my live stream. Bye bye.